Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Monday Night Car Chat with Joe Daddy's Garage. I'm Barry, your host, as you all know. If you haven't been here before, we try to focus on classic cars, Mustangs, Camaros, Mopars, Studebakers, Corvairs, Impalas, whatever, and keep it oriented to that car or that bracket of time from the 60s into the 70s, maybe into the 50s and stuff like that. But that is our focus. And we do a lot with Mustangs, of course, as that has become kind of the primary thing that happens on my channel. So, again, if you haven't been here before, welcome to the chat. We try to answer questions, pose ideas or concepts, and see what people think about them sometimes. And if I have an answer to a question, I get myself a bell. If somebody else has an answer to the question, they get a bell. So normally we do this, again, every Monday at 7 o'clock and Thursdays at 3, unless there's some other conflict, with life. So there are a group of people that show up every week, and I'm thankful for that. They're over there on the side, and they help answer questions and suggest ideas and different things like that. So welcome to the chat. Glad you're here. First up is Greg's Workshop from Australia. Glad you're here, Greg. Jessica's Two Guard Garage. Good afternoon, everyone. Fresh pot of coffee coming right up. Yes. And I believe Jessica's out in California, I think. Ish. Good evening all from Queens, New York. Glad you're here. Terry Keithley. It's Monday Night Live at Barry's. Yes. Hindsight 6-7. Roger. Greetings from next door. Glad you're here, Raj. Jessica, the sound of fighter jets overhead brings a tear to my eye and a ring to my ears. Still better than the little dog next door. I'll give you a bell for that. Roger, sound of freedom, Jessica. I'm a former Phantom fixer. Yes. Crash Rider. Good evening, all. Southern Indiana checking in. Has the new buffer been tried on the new paint? Yes, it has. And I have some pictures I'm going to share with you shortly. Clark Clifford checking in. Glad you're here. Let's see. Crash Rider, everyone waiting. Be sure to give a thumbs up. Yes. Yes. Please. Jessica, don't get me wrong. I love the sound. I wanted to fly F-14s when I was young. Did the full-on sim thing and all but for F. Phil, MIM so greetings from Northern California. Ish. Yes. Thank you for the thumbs up. So Roger's talking to Crash Rider. Ron Bell checking in from Northeast Tennessee. Nandu, good evening everyone. Hope all had a nice weekend. I think it was pretty good. I still see him having Wi-Fi things going on. I don't know. Wally checking in from the Great White North. Good evening, everyone. Just putting on a cup of coffee and settling in. Good idea. 68 Stang. Reese, what's up? Finally back watching the show. The paint job looks sick. That is Reese, by the way, I believe. Should be Reese. Glad you're here. Thank you for that. I agree. Paint looks great. Restoration, hello to Barry and the crew. Kuderlev, hello from OKC. Enjoying a nice evening, an adult beverage, and about to start the grill. That sounds appealing. Okay, who do we have? We have a new one, JT73 something. Hi, first time on live chat. I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you find something that will interest you and you can contribute. Rick Stevenson, glad you're here. Troy Justin. Hey all, hope everyone is doing good. Dawn Thompson checking in with Betsy. Dawn Farbach. I'll go with that. Greetings from Long Island, New York. Glad you're here. Richard Byrne, great share on Betsy Dawn. Yes, good information. 4 p.m. and 12 p.m. for the Pacific Standard Time, people. Thank you, Jessica. Austin, hello from Scottsdale, Arizona. Glad you're here. Rick Gain, checking in from New Jersey. Hello. Today started out good, then turned rotten. Looking forward to the next couple of hours. Just relax and forget about the events of today. Yeah, me too. Jerry's Garage, the Money Pit. Good evening from Middle Tennessee. Glad you're here. Okay. So JT73, that's a condension. That's not even a word. Condension. You can use that if you like. That's my own word of the day. Condension. Condension of 73 Dodge Challenger. Okay, I kind of had that thought, but sometimes you don't know. Don Thompson, yes. Yeah, condension. I'm sure that's not a word. Donald Gill checking in from Louisiana. It's still raining. We haven't had any rain. Humidity's gone up a little bit. Not bad. Temperatures have been nice, which is great, and can't complain about that. Clark Clifford. Condension or condension? I don't know. I just made it up. Condension. Love it. Condension. Yeah. I'm thinking with a T, though. Maybe a T makes more sense. I haven't made up a new word in a while. So there you go. Put that in the lexicon. He knows big words. Put that in the lexicon of words. Let's see. Roger, Crush Rider, another area. Okay. Don Thompson, question. Do you weld the lower cowl in, then the upper, or weld both at the same time? I'm going to say you have to weld the lower end by itself because of the dash. You have if I remember the sequence correctly, you have the flange for the windshield opening, let's say, but then you have, should be the dash attaches to the bottom cowl first. So, way I've done it, I weld that dash back in, weld that panel, to the bottom of the cowl. I don't know if that's how they did it at the factory. I just know I don't have anything that'll get in there, obviously to make that happen. So I weld in the lower first, make sure it's all in place, and then come back in with the top. Hope that helps. Ben, condension is an invention. It is. It's a new word today. T as in Red Dave. Got it. Speaking of Red Dave, we have our first Dave sighting. Dave Conville checking in from New Jersey. Richard, I welded the lower end, then welded the top. Yep. I don't think there's really any other way to do it, honestly, because unless my mind is telling me something different, there's a secondary, set of welds in the bottom where the dash or whatever, there's something underneath there that has to be welded to the lower cowl first. I'd have to go, whenever you, Dawn, when you took your cowl out, wasn't there another set of welds below the first set? I'm pretty confident there was. Derek Pro, hi everyone. Hope all's well. Jay looks fantastic. Well done. You're a legend. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate that. Willie Goodman, good evening all. And Troy, I did lower than the top on my 65. Yeah. I think that's the only right way to do it. And multiple reasons, but I like to make sure that the welds are fully penetrated. And not that you wouldn't have that if you had stacked them up and drilled through and then plug welded them. Not that wouldn't happen, but with that lower one all welded in and smooth, I can, make sure that top one's going to sit flush and square, and if I need to tweak or adjust anything, then I can. Let's see. Dawn, lower does not weld to dash. Well, there was some vehicle that I did. Maybe I'm confused. I was thinking there's something secondary that welds to it. I could have swore, but I've worked on so many things. I could be wrong. But I still weld in the bottom half by itself. It's just the way I do it. Austin Baxter, rain happens when condension happens to condensation. We'll take that. Ron, the lower cowl is welded to the flange on the firewall, then the upper is welded to the lower cowl. Yeah. Yep. Richard, I saw on another channel, which I won't name, they put them together with metal screws and welded them both in together. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. I'm not against it. I just know how, what I'm comfortable with. Troy, you're right, Don. It doesn't. Okay. And Bob, hello from Oklahoma. I'm glad you're here. Okay. Let me get a sip of coffee real quick. It's funny. I took a sip of coffee, right? You ever watch the shows where they tell you how you're supposed to eat something or drink something or whatever, like wine? You don't hold the glass, like, wrap your hand around it like a caveman. You're supposed to hold the stem so you don't influence the whatever. And then you're supposed to smell it. And again, wine, I don't care. But I saw a show one time about coffee, and it was showing how they test the flavors. And basically what they're telling us in that show was you don't just drink it. You don't just drink it. You're supposed to sip it and like get little bits of it in your mouth so that the flavor explodes and makes it, better. I don't know. But that's what I started doing that, I guess. And it works. It works. So next time you have some coffee, try that. Just do a little kind of a sip. And Leonard, howdy from the high desert. Glad you're here. Austin, Barry, I've heard it both ways. Do you put epoxy primer on bare metal, then do filler, or filler on bare metal, then epoxy? You can do both. You can do either. However, as my processes have evolved, I put epoxy first, no matter what. Just put epoxy down. Get this like a substrate all uniform. There's nothing wrong, good filler is designed to go straight to bare metal. Okay. But it can go on top of epoxy. It's not going to hurt anything. I've actually used epoxy and bare metal, or put, filler on top, and maybe even added some more epoxy depending on what I was working on. But no, I prefer to put epoxy on the bare metal. And then from there, build out with filler and then high build and stuff like that. So hope that helps. Crash Rider, everyone is spelling that wrong. It is spelled condension. I think I like condension. I like my Troy, Roman wraps his hand around the cup, but puts his pinky finger out. Yeah. Let's see. David Outdoor 74. Hey Barry, glad you're here. Jessica, yeah, that's the sip of the day. Then gets what? Just about getting it in me. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Hit the like button, everyone. Yeah, and I will give a shout out to David. If you're into, we're all into cars and stuff. Primarily, that's why everybody's here. And David has a cool car, but he does a lot of, like, I would say, self-sustained homestead or farming techniques is what I would call it. Years ago, and this is just a conversation here, but years ago, my dad used to get this magazine called Mother Earth News. And in that magazine, it would tell you how to do all kinds of things with what we have, basically, like compost piles, how to heat your water, how to heat your house, how to use what's in our environment to help, make things not cost so much money and stuff like that. That's what David's been doing with a lot of his stuff. And it's pretty cool to watch and get an understanding and appreciation of how those things, can be done. There's one idea that I had seen years ago, of course, saving rainwater and stuff like that. But heating your water and taking a plastic 55-gallon drum and having it outside your house and let the sun preheat the water before it goes in the water heater, stuff like that. There's all kinds of things that you can do. So it's always nice to see that kind of stuff. Dawn, Barry followed your advice, went to Harbor Freight to solve today's issue. Good. David Outdoor, thanks for the shout out. You're welcome. I enjoy watching that stuff. Jessica, yeah, that's first sip of the day, then it's just about getting it in me. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Then it's go ahead and get caffeined up. Johnny Crash, I haven't seen you in a while. At least I haven't seen your name in a while. Glad you're here. Harvey, Raleigh Cat Garage, hello, Barry, working tonight on a project and watching when possible. Okay. Well, as you know, everybody should know, I've been color sanding. We say the word color sanding, and I talk about this in the next one of my videos. We're not actually sanding the color because it's not a single stage. We're sanding clear coat. So it's color sanding is what the technique is. But anyway, so I've been sanding, the clear coat on the car, and I've been buffing. And this is really low on my list. I'll be honest. I've said it before. I stress out over paint. I don't like to paint. But mundane tasks like wet sanding, buffing, block sanding, all that stuff, it's just so low on the list. It's rewarding. Obviously you get to see the results and you get to have, a really nice finished car. But gosh, it is just trying to stay motivated. So at this point, I've sanded the full body and the doors. And I've buffed first round with wool, the full body and the doors, the cowl and the tailpiece and all that. So I have some pictures I'm gonna share with you. We saw these pictures initially. These are ones from when I first painted it. Let me pull Harvey's comment down. Right after I first painted it, and then whoops. Well, let me get caught up here. So right after it was painted, here's another shot again. Right after it was painted, and you can see texture. You can see the lights aren't crisp, not smooth. So after sanding it and buffing it with the wool pad and this 3M compound, that is where I'm at right now. Okay, so that is the wool pad on the 7-inch DeWalt buffer, and that's what you get. This is 2 rounds of the wool. First round I did it at 1,000 RPM. The second round I did it at 1,200 RPM to get a little more heat into the clear, and so that's what that looks like. This is the opposite quarter, and now you can look at it in the light. It's pretty much, it's pretty consistent. I don't know. It might be a little fuzzy yet, but again, this is after 2 rounds with the wool pad. So I'm pretty happy with how it's looking at this point. But it's just one of those things. It's holding that grinder and doing all that stuff, or buffer, we should say. David, my suspension is done, waiting on the motor. Well, that's a good thing. That your suspension is done. Leonard, did you see someone found a 68 428 Cobra Jet back in the woods? Nope, did not. Kills me. There's still stuff out there. David, beautiful blue. Not blue. It's not blue. It's not blue. It's aqua. It's green. In fact, in these pictures, it actually looks more correct. That looks more correct as far as the color goes. It's a blue-green, honestly, but it's aqua is the color. Troy, how many coats of clear did you put on it? Actually, this has 2 coats of clear on the car. I ended up putting 3 coats on the hood and the deck lid because there was so much trash in it that I had to bury it in hopes that I could sand it all down and get rid of it. But there's only 2 coats on the car. And the reason for that was when I was spraying this thing, it was laying out so nice. I didn't see any issues, and really I didn't have much interest in doing a third coat because I don't think it needed it. So that's why it only has 2 coats. But 2 coats is going to be fine. I mean, I've been sanding on it and buffing it, and it's doing fantastic. Crash Rider looks great, but it's still blue. No, it's not. It's aqua. Say it. Say it. Aqua. It's not blue. It's all right, Dave. It's all right. My shirt's blue. Johnny Crash, Gulfstream Aqua. Yes, that is the color. Or I think the other name for it is Aqua. Aqua is the first word. Aqua Blue Poly. You know, they change the names every so many years, whatever. But Aqua is the first word. Aqua Blue Poly. Clark, how much did you have to sand to get down to green? Not much. Not much. Cooter, need to seal front windshield using 3M bedding and glazing compound next to sheet metal. Any different ideas for sealing between weather strip and glass? Not really. I mean, people have used a variety of things over the years. I'm not even sure. You know, 3M bedding is what I've heard people use, but I'm not sure what the technical material was that they used back in the day. I don't know. You know, there's been times where I've seen people take urethane and after seals in, squirt it with urethane. Of course, that once it's in there, it's in there. Urethane's not going anywhere. Arthur, what's up, guys? I'm glad you're here. Kuderlev, nice aqua t-shirt. Yeah. Yep. Steve, Footage Factory checking in. You know, Steve, I commented on a video that you posted. Well, it came up on my watch, like promoted videos, like watch this video. And it was some video you put out 10 years ago. 10 years ago. You look like a whole different guy. A whole different guy. I was like, why am I seeing this video from 10 years ago? March Indy, it's green, I promise. And it looks even better in person. Thank you, sir. Yes, he has seen it in person. It's only been 1, 2, 3, 4 people that have seen it. And, well, 5 counting myself. But one is Roger, March Indy, buddy of mine, came to visit. He saw it. And my wife, of course. Jessica, what's the name of the factory 66 green gold color Ford had? I don't know. Green gold. They had some weird names. I don't know what that would have been. Footage Factory, Steve, windshield, messiest job ever. Well, yeah, it's pretty messy. It is pretty messy. You know, here's the thing though, and I'm just pointing this out. We stress out over these, like putting in the windshield and putting in the bedding and making it waterproof or whatever. And that's cool. Well, that's fine. We all, you know, should be doing that. But then my other part of me over here says, are you going to put this thing in the rain? Are you going to drive it in the weather? I mean, granted, we might run into driving somewhere and have rain come down on us. But you know, that's the kind of thoughts I have is like, will it ever get wet? Is it going to matter? Because I don't plan to wash the car even. You know, I use McGuire's One Touch when I clean like the Model A. That's all I ever use. I don't wash it. I don't get it wet. I just don't. Wally, after spraying clear for the first time, I'm looking for a full face respirator. What a fog. Yep. And even I have 2 fans blowing out of my shop. So I've seen, you know, videos of your shop. I don't know if you, I don't know what all you had set up. If you had something, I don't know how you had it configured, but anyway, yeah, you definitely need, and you get a Tyvek suit on too if you haven't done that. Nick, hello. I'm glad you're here, Nick. Nick, did you see these pictures? I'm going to show you these pictures real quick. Did you see that? That's what I've been doing the last couple of days. That's just buffing with the wool pad. I have not done the foam pads yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Steve, I was young back then. I was a Backstreet Boy. Yeah, I don't even know what you were. I forget what you were. I was like, why am I seeing this video? Why are they promoting this video? I think it was something about buying a gun or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Don Thompson sent pic of sealant. Okay. Well, let me pull that up. Let me pull that up real quick. I'm going to download that. Then I come over here and I get the most recent download. All right, we're going to have a look at what Dawn sent us. Sent pic of sealant. So CRL 1716 windshield and repair sealant. Is that an oil can? That looks like an oil can. Is that the application? Is an oil type pump thing? That's interesting. Looks like you've had that a while too. I'm assuming. Johnny Crash. Oh, what does it say there? So, I don't even have. Wait, let me get my glasses so I can try to read that. Sauterne Gold. That's the answer to Jessica's question. Okay, so then he says, what does Sauterne mean? Gold metallic, to be specific. That's your original color of my 66 coupe. Color code is Z. Pretty rare color for the year. Yeah, Sauterne. That's a weird name. That's a weird name for a color. Of course, they do that all the time. They come up with some crazy name for colors, like Gulfstream Aqua. Aqua Blue Poly. Clark, ever since the go-kart accident, Barry insists blue is green. Yes. Yep. David, you definitely have some serious talent, Barry. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I've done a lot of things. A lot of things. Leonard, yes, thumbs up. Thank you. Cooter says Sauterne Gold. I guess that's how you say it. I don't know how that's right. Crasher, I have an idea for a small donation. You could send a color photo to show your appreciation. For a small donation, you could send a color photo. Okay. A color photo. I could send us a color photo? I'm confused. I'm confused. Maybe that's what you mean. If somebody sends a donation, I could send them a color photo. Wally, 68 Mustang, open garage. We'll need to set up proper booth for the Mustang. So much trash in the ski. Well, you know, I learned. I mean, you've learned now, and I knew. I've sprayed other stuff in my paint booth, and I've had a little trash now and then. But after the experience I had with the hood and the deck lid, I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy to have this much. It was my fault for blowing air through that filter. I still have the filters in place, but I just let the air naturally work its way in. Granted, it takes some effort for the fans to push everything out. But when you think about all these little things within your reach that can get into your paint, that's why I went through that whole process of cleaning out the booth, washing it down, brushing this, all that stuff. It adds up quick. Troy, $10 super sticker. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Where am I at here? Okay, Jessica. Oh, her mom's car is factory color. Okay, Nick. Yeah, looking mint. Birds will be flying into that in no time. Let's hope not. David's putting in a 2050 converter in the formula. All right. Okay, so there we go. David, 60 in the chat. Nice. Yep. We've had nights where we've had over 100, so it's interesting. Johnny Crash, the name is probably why it was rare. People couldn't picture it. The Ivy Gold, practically the same color, was the most popular color in 67. Okay. Arthur, what guns did you use? To spray base, I used the Black Widow. To spray clear coat, I used a DeVilbiss gun. That's it. And then the DeVilbiss gun, I really don't know much about. All I know is it's what we used at the body shop for years. And when we shut down the body shop, that's one thing that I ended up with. And I've really, honestly, I've never adjusted that gun. I've left it alone. I just spray with it and just things work. Arthur, I would love to get a Satajet. I've heard good things about those. Don Thompson, put windshield in dry, then pump butyl between seal and glass and between pinch weld and seal. That makes sense. Because, I mean, I've seen people have done it where they put goop in the seal and then try to push it in. It just doesn't work for me. I don't think that makes sense because normally you'd use like a rope, a small rope to pull the seal around. It would make more sense, like you're saying it, to put the windshield in dry and then go around with the butyl. I get that. Cooter, all my buddies call my paint the baby poop gold, but they weren't so PC. Jessica says, I think it's Ford for sparkly baby poop. Steve, did you watch the latest Jay Leno's Garage? He did a Mustang coupe built by a 16-year-old. It was a great vid. No, I have not. I'll have to check it out. David Outdoors. Barry, heading out. Thanks so much for checking out my channel and the nice comments. Ciao. See you. Arthur, I have a DeVilbiss. No like orange peel. Oh, no like orange peel no matter what I do. Well, this, like I said, this DeVilbiss gun, I don't know. I'm telling you, I haven't even taken this apart. I mean, I've taken out the guts, to clean it. This is a DeVilbiss Plus. What does that mean? I don't know. I mean, I've never even changed the regulator settings. And it says DeVilbiss K3 on the front. Because somebody asked me what's the tip size. I don't know. Because it doesn't say it. A lot of guns will say 1.3, 1.5, 1.8. This just says number 410 right in the front there. Number 410, DeVilbiss K3. I have no idea what that means. No idea. It's their own special code, I guess. But it works. And to be honest, I've seen videos where people have taken the Black Widow gun and they've sprayed base and clear with that same gun. I've seen them do it. I don't know how well it turned out, but I've seen them do it. Let's see. Steve. Sauterne. Oh, look, another phone call from somebody I don't know. Sauterne definition, a sweet wine from Sauternes in the Bordeaux region of France. So it's pretty uppity, is what you're saying. It was an uppity up color. Nick, I want to get one of the new modular 3M guns. The kits are reasonable and it looks pretty nice. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Oh, okay. Crash very much say a photo of your car. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Johnny Crash. Satagun jet guns are spendy. That's professional level gear. No a painter in the Tulsa area bought one about $1,000 brand new. You can get used ones for the price of a nice DeVilbiss gun new. Arthur, I have a 3M. It sucks. Well, I'm telling you, all I've used, I've used some really crappy guns that I've sprayed before, used those before. And I've used the Black Widow to spray the primer. I have two different Black Widow guns. I think the one has a 1.7 tip and the other one's 1.3, I think. But one is like a base coat gun and one is, and a top or top coat, whatever. So they worked for what I use, but again, I don't paint. I don't know, once a year, maybe. Although I might have a side project. I might have a side project. I've had people ask me many times about painting a vehicle for them. Hey, what would you charge to spray this? So I'm like, I really don't want to, because I just don't, honestly. I'd do it, but I just don't want to. Well, I met a gentleman the other week who has a 70. What year was it? 92 Dodge long bed truck. It was a forestry service truck or something, utility truck. It was a utility truck. Thing had it's got 3 little dents in it. And we were talking about cars and stuff, and he's like, yeah, I want to paint this sometime. Would you be interested? I said, well, not really. I said, but if you do all the prep work, then I'm probably more interested. I don't want to do all the prep work on a long bed Dodge truck. You sand it down, you fix the dents, then we'll talk. So I might do that, because it's not like a show truck. It's just he wants it, because the paint's, somebody had I think the paint was flaking off, and somebody took a brush and brushed the hood, to protect it. Didn't look good at all. We have our second Dave sighting. So we have the Winged Warrior checking in. Glad you're here. And Ish, to change the color of an object. Saturn. Huh. Okay. We need fancy words like that. Not as good as my word. I like my word better. Condension. Remember that. Use that in a sentence this week. Condension. Derek Pro. People don't realize how much work goes into just spraying a car. As you say, it's all in the prep, and if not done right, you get all the grief. As you get older, no energy. LOL. Yeah, that is true. That is true. And I'm not. How do I want to put it? I'm not trying to cut corners on the buffing. I want to make it right. I want to make sure it's done right, because, once it's done and it rolls out the door, I don't want to roll it back in. Don't want to do that. But I'm also looking at stuff, and I'm envisioning, when March Indy was over here, and he was looking at it, and he was commenting about the tail panel, and it turned out nice. It did. It really turned out nice. And today I was sanding, and I'm looking at it. I said, do I need to sand this tail panel? How hard is this going to be to buff? And then, of course, I saw a little tiny sag, and I thought, okay, nope, I'm going to sand it. So I sanded that out, and then I buffed it, and it looks even better than it did before. But I'm picturing it with brand new taillight bezels, nice new red lenses bolted in. I'm picturing it with the bumper attached, and finishing out the back section, and I'm like, okay, I have to keep those thoughts in my head, but I have to think that I can't rush through this, because once I put all the shiny stuff on, the rest of the car has to match. I can't miss something at this point. It has to be right. Clark, your tip plus high efficiency. Oh, okay. High efficiency air cap number 410, air cap primers, base coats, clear coats, single stage, and low VOC air cap order number, blah, blah, blah. So it's a 1 millimeter tip. Oh, well, thank you for that. I assume that's a good thing, because I know it works. Let me read that. Let me look over that, what that says there. So it's saying you can do primers, base coats, clear coats, single stage, and low. I'm assuming. That sounds like a small tip for some of that, though. For some of that. Jessica Berry, find that I don't want to do it price. May I suggest charging by the inch? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Nick, man, I'm super focused on this on the drip rails. Did someone say the 3M guns are cow patties? That was kind of what I heard. That's kind of what I heard. I don't know. I haven't used the 3M gun. Derek Pro, she's going to shine, baby. Take your time. Give it lots of finesse and love. Yep. Juan says hello. I'll say hola, I assume. Hola, Juan. Glad you're here. Kuderlev, my mechanic dad taught me the only way to do anything was clean, tight, and right. It applies to paint, engine rebuilds, or in my case, accounting. There you go. Yep. That makes perfect sense. Arthur, Nick, or let's see. Oh, saying Nick. He's replying to Nick Moss. I don't like it. For half the price, I'll sell you mine. You know, and nothing against by any means. You know, everybody has their own taste or experience or whatever. Generally, I'm pretty happy with 3M stuff. Generally, now I've not tried an air gun, you know, a spray gun or anything like that. But it could be some variable that is causing these problems. I don't know. Like I said, I've used some really crappy spray guns. I've used some really nice spray guns. I've used intermediate. You know, to me, the Black Widows they're cheap when it comes in the market of spray guns. They're relatively cheap, but you can have a lot of variables, and you know, even like I had too much pressure going into the gun because I didn't have my regulator set up right. You know, so that was causing problems. You know, whatever. There's all kinds of. That's why paint bugs me so much, because there's like so many variables that you have to know. You know, like with the humidity and the temperature, which reducer do you use with this temperature, which blah blah blah. You start spraying, it's like, oh, that doesn't look right. You adjust this. Oh, there it is. You know, I mean, I can do it, but I can't teach somebody how to do that. It's just one of those things. It's kind of like, you know, Roger can tell you, like driving race cars. You can teach somebody how to drive a race car, or people can have the inherent feel for driving a race car. There's a big difference. You know, he used to help me with my race car. We'd go out on the track, and I'd be out there working the car. He'd say, "What's wrong with it? How's it feel? How's it doing?" I don't know. What's it doing? I don't know. I'm taking the turns, going straight. You know, because the reality was, I didn't know what to tell him, because I was never taught, you know, that, hey, it's leaning, or it's you know, it's loose or tight, whatever. I just knew I have to compensate for whatever this car is doing. At this point, I know if I can do this, boom, I can get it. So it's kind of how I am when I'm painting. I'm like, nah, it doesn't look quite right. Let me fidget with this a little bit. There it is. So Jessica just sent a pic of 2 Mustangs and a 2-door wagon. 2-door wagon? Now, let me get that. Is the wagon a Mustang? That would be interesting. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick. Two Mustangs. Oh. Is that a Buick or Oldsmobile? The wagon looks like it's it's a Buick or Oldsmobile, I think. Wow, that's a rare item right there. I can't say I've ever actually seen a 2-door wagon like that. That looks like something, I'm going to say 67, maybe? Wow, that is a rare thing. I've never seen one of those. Of course, the Mustang, the left one's a 67, and the other one's I'm guessing a 65. Just my guess. But wow, I like that wagon. That's a sharp car right there. Thank you for sharing that. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome right there. Let's see. Winged Warrior went fishing yesterday, completely submerged boat at the end of the launch. When we got there, thinking they have a great day, thinking they didn't have a great, oh, okay. Okay, so there was a boat completely submerged at the end of the launch when we got there, thinking they didn't have a great day on the lake. Just thinking. We'd work. Apparently, it requires a lot of skill to launch a boat afloat. Yeah, apparently. Derek, I think spray gun sponsors should get on board and do a whole video for you, test them, and answer questions. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Wait a minute. Sorry to hear that. No, I think he's referred to somebody else's boat. Somebody else lost their boat. Okay, that's a really? That's how it is. I guess when the light's hitting it, it's throwing me off because I can't see the nose. But it gives you the impression with the shadows as the Pontiac or something like that. That's got to be a super rare car. Somebody look that up. See what the production numbers were for a two-door 64 Chevelle wagon or Malibu wagon. Derek, same with polishing products, 3M, McGuire's. Are you talking about? Hold on. Oh, having people getting somebody to sponsor. That would be nice. That would be nice. Cooter, the carnivores are getting restless. About to see if I can stay on the extreme grill side without melting my laptop. Yeah, don't melt your laptop. Oh, Dave says my boat is fine. The udder boat was submerged. Yeah. You know, I've seen some pictures of, that happens, but I've seen pictures where there's a boat and a trailer submerged. I've seen it where it's a boat, a trailer, and a truck submerged. I saw one video or picture of a boat that got people were complaining. The story was people were complaining that the boat wouldn't go very fast in the water. And they didn't take the trailer. They unhooked the trailer and left it attached to the boat, and were trying to go across the water. And there was a picture with the side supports for the trailer on the outside of the boat, where the person's trying to push through the boat or push through the water with the trailer still attached. Roger, note to self: check drain plug before launching boat. Yeah, that's a good choice. Grease rookie Andrew's here. Hey, glad you're here. Jessica, two-door wagon, 64, 65 only. Green Mustang is my mom's 66. Oh, okay. Man, I'm telling you, that's a rare wagon. It's a 64. Used to own one, but not a wagon. Yep. Nick, hey, I want to hop on and ask a question. Sending an email. Okay. All right. So we're going to pull you on here, Nick. Let me send you an invite. It's on its way. It's going to the satellite now. Should be there in 2 minutes. Don Thompson boat ramp on a busy weekend. Best entertainment ever. Yeah, it is entertaining. Jerry Pro's actually great entertainment at a boat ramp. Yep. Dave, Winged Warrior, 4th of July. We leave the boat home and grab a case and watch the fun at the launch. Yeah. Yep. If we go to our the camper, Jeff, awesome, man. You're just too nice, Jeff. I'll just say that. Honest. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is genuinely appreciated. Well, I've said before, we try to go to our camper over the summer, and in fact, I did a video on my other channel where I put a residential refrigerator into our camper because our refrigerator had died. I see you, Nick. I'll get you on. So, anyway, near where the camper is, there's a boat ramp, and there's also some docks to the side. I tend to stay away from that boat ramp because there's people zipping in and out of there trying to get stuff. It's fun to watch, though. I mean, it is watching people try to do their thing. All right, let's get Nick on here and see what he has to say. Here you are.
I don't. Hey,
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. On the drip rails, I saw like on the fastbacks, it has a piece of metal that comes up under there and spot welds too. Is it the same on the coops?
Is it the same on the
coops? Huh?
Okay, so you're trying to replace the lower half.
Well, I'm shaving it, but I want to make sure I don't cut too much here. I'm just doing small sections and stuff.
Okay, the shape.
Or if I can just go ahead and cut the whole thing. See?
The shape is consistent all the way up the A-pillar into the transition of the roof. It's the same, but the difference is the width.
Okay.
The fastbacks have a narrower drip rail. The trim that goes on.
Yeah.
So where you got your hand right there, the flange, it's actually narrower. I actually did a video on this.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing it, but I'm not so much replacing that as I'm shaving it off and putting this piece back down onto it to create a body line. I just had a question about how they went together when I go to cut it apart.
Okay, so what's the end goal here?
Basically to move this down to the body.
Like make it flush against the A-pillar?
Yeah, see this? This is the...
Yeah.
Yeah. They got the drip rail right there. I just want to leave the body line of the drip rail on here.
Okay, so you want to leave the shape of the A-pillar.
Yeah.
And get rid of the drip rail.
I want to know how this went in together so I can kind of prepare to, when I'm cutting it loose, I don't, it pops loose in a weird way or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually have a drip rail up here from a fastback. From a fastback. If I remember right, the flange, because the roof is on top of the flange. So when it transitions up the A-pillar, if I remember correctly, it actually goes under the roof.
Okay.
So when you're going up, the surface area of the A-pillar
going to have to be welded together there at the edge, so it'd probably be better to do it in small sections than that, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, I mean it's not going anywhere. If you were to cut right on the edge, and just remove the drip rail, you're just going to have the roof line, the drip rail piece, and then the inner structure. Okay. And then if you were to weld that, it's not going to go anywhere because it's all welded together anyway. All you're removing is the cosmetic piece of the drip rail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. I've seen people do it. I've seen other people do it, cut it off. But the hard part, again, is getting it all transitioned nice, as you go back. But you can do it. You know how to weld. So what else are you working on?
I did the quarters.
Okay.
And really not much else. I've been working a lot. So.
Yeah. Well, that's okay, too. You got to work.
Well, I took the motor out and started prepping the bay and stuff for, painting it up and putting suspension under it. That's the next thing I'm doing.
Okay.
Working on getting it back on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps you out.
Yep, it does. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
See ya.
All right. Okay. Mason, hey Barry, hey J Daddy, do you have a motion light on the front part of the shop? Or so? No, I have a on at dusk light. It's on there no matter what. I have a big light on the front of the shop and a big light on my garage up at the house. Lights up all the driveway. So I don't have a motion type light. Chris Greenaway checking in. Cool. Glad you're here. And Grease Rookie. And Jessica, only 2,710 two-door wagons in 64. That's a pretty low number. We all know that. I wonder how many have survived. And then you start looking at what did people do with them, or how do they option them? Because like with the Mustang market, you hear somebody say, "Oh, I have one of one because it has a black trunk mat or something." It's the same car as everybody else's, except for it has an extra doodad on the dash. You know what I mean? So you'll get that. Oh, it's the only one of version of. But you think about it, there's really, to me, the variances or making it a unique one of one is more about a Shelby car that had this configuration with this configuration and maybe it had this specific color, more so than there was an extra screw put in the quarter panel or something. You know what I mean? It's just when you really open up that can of worms and you say, well, this is the only one that ever had a black interior with red door panels. Well, it doesn't mean it's any more valuable. It just means somebody had bad taste, But I'm just saying there's a lot of things that happen. So when you look at that Chevelle wagon, what were the options? Could it be ordered with a big block, 396 or whatever? Could it be ordered with a 4-speed? Could they be ordered with a posi traction rear end, disc brakes, those kind of things that are to make a car more unique in that aspect. Let me see. I gotta put my readers on. Hey Barry, I'm 20 and bought a 66 4-speed GT in baby poop gold about a year ago, and replacing just about all of them except the dashboard. Your videos have been such a help. Awesome. Hey, all I need is a pair of hinges. A good set of hinges, and I can build you a car. Phil, Barry, Nick is crystal clear, and your side is having Wi-Fi issues. Yeah. It keeps doing it. I don't understand why. I mean, in fact, on my laptop right now, my Wi-Fi is actually turned off. It's not even an option, and yet it's trying to pick up Wi-Fi. And I have an Ethernet cable attached. Somebody said it might be my laptop. I don't know. Clark, how many two-door wagons lost their doors to a sedan? Well, you know what? I don't know if the doors, the door's probably the same, but the glass looks like it's different. Because it's got the taper. It's got the Nomad style taper on the A pillar or B pillar. Chris been buying car parts like mad. Yeah. Chris Jody, have you seen the Mustero? Yes, I have. Not, I mean, they're okay. They're okay. They're different. Doors are two-door wagon and El Camino. So the doors are unique to the wagon and El Camino, from what she's saying. Thank you for that. Jessica, Wayne Warrior, I guess you can take the doors of a wagon as owners for a sedan. Doesn't mean you should, right? Jessica, this is a factory AC V8 3 on the tree, so my brother claims or clams. Factory AC V8 3 on the tree. That it wouldn't surprise me at all. Honestly, they put a lot of 3 on the tree stuff out back then. I don't understand this Wi-Fi thing. It should not even be trying to get to the router, to the Wi-Fi. That's why I have an Ethernet cable. Let me try something here. I've done this before. Yeah, speed test is showing great. I don't understand it. Why is it doing this goofy thing? I mean, speed test looks fantastic, and yet it's trying to do this goofy Wi-Fi thing. I don't get it. Okay, so Dave's correcting his condension of words. Yeah, Clark switched off the Wi-Fi condension fabulator. Well, that's the thing. It's off. It actually is off. I don't understand how it could even. It's a manual return to turn it on right now. Let me try one more thing. Okay, am I still here? I'm trying it. I put it on airplane mode. So let me know if I'm still here. Chris, my 77 Formula isn't one of one. GM didn't keep that good a record of regular production cars. Okay, so I'm still here. Okay. Well, I don't know if that works or not. I put on airplane mode. Maybe that'll force it to not look at Wi-Fi. I don't know. There was something else I was going to mention. Hold on. I have to think about it a minute. Oh, okay. So Roger says better. Okay. I don't know. I'm just hoping that it works. As I mentioned, I'm doing the buffing on the car and the sanding. I still have the hood and the fender, hood and the deck lid and various pieces to do. Otherwise, not looking forward to those because I know they're fuzzy. So that's going to be a struggle. I will point out that somebody had shared, I think maybe it was Bad Harry, had shared a video from a guy, and he talked his way over how he did a fastback conversion, right? And it was pretty insightful. But then there was another video that I saw recently that gave better, they actually showed him doing it. But they didn't give all the details. They left some stuff out. But after watching that video, I have a better perspective of doing the fastback conversion. Whenever you look at what you get from, let's say, Dynacorn, you end up with the whole side of the car. The A-pillar. There goes the how can it be doing Wi-Fi again? How can it be doing it? I'm on airplane mode. My laptop is possessed. That's all it is. My laptop is possessed. I don't understand that. Now it went away again. Anyway, so when you look at the pieces you get from Dynacorn, you get the full side of the car. You get the whole back half, where the inner structure is for the wheel houses and all that stuff. And you also get the full roof structure, the A-pillar, and I believe you get the side kick panel, or at least the A-pillar. You don't get the kick panel, but you get all that, and a rocker panel. You get all that. Well, the easy way to do it, from what I'm seeing, is to take the roof off the car, start with that, remove the quarters, of course, brace it up, but remove the quarters, remove the roof. But you remove the roof, you don't go all the way to the A-pillar. You stay behind the A-pillar, and you cut it off, and then you de-skin it, and basically that whole structure, you take it apart from the Dynacorn setup, and you can weld it onto the factory location where the A-pillar comes up and comes to a stop. You take off the rocker panel, and you just use that back third or back half of that panel, and you put it on the car. After seeing that, I'm like, I'm all in for it. I want to do that now, because I was thinking of actually cutting apart the A-pillar, using the whole side structure, all that stuff, the rocker panel. It's like, you don't need to. So I'm glad I saw that, and I'm glad I got some, insight onto that. But it honestly doesn't look that difficult. Now, the video that was made was probably, I don't know if it was 15 minutes long, but it was just all one shot. All of them taking it off, putting it on, welding it together, and going, okay, there it is. Nothing about critical measurements, nothing about, checking the glass. It was a whole bunch of things, but it was very insightful. So I'm glad I watched that. Paul, hey Barry, nice color on Jade. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Chris, so are we doing the fastback conversion? I'm getting pretty close to that. I mean, I'm trying to get in touch with a supplier that I can get parts from, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm really leaning more and more towards doing the fastback conversion. White Bull, hello Joe Daddies, hello White Bull, glad you're here. Nandu Power Nation YouTube channel recently had a video of a coupe to fat. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. It was Power Nation, but again, they don't. It was kind of like an overview. It was kind of like watching a TV show where it's like, here's what we're gonna do. Here it is. You know, and they showed parts of the process, but it feels like there should be more detail, which is probably what I would focus on, is doing the details. Ish, your condension of thoughts and formulation of words explaining the fastback conversion was excellent. See? Condension. That's a new word. A new word I created. I forget what Grease Rookie. Andrew had a word that I used. I can't remember what it was. He had a word that I used, that he had used in one of his videos. I thought it was pretty fun. Chris, try making a 72 Montego coupe to get fastback. Good luck. Yeah, I'd have a hard time finding either one. A Montego to start with. Let me see. Okay, so Paul. Paul sent me a picture. I'll go ahead and download that, and we'll share that. We'll share that, Paul. Why not? Let me get that. So let me pull this off. Okay, so Paul sent me this picture, and well, hold on, let me pull it up. 20 buttons. So his email says, how often do you see this? Look at the heater motor and cutout. They did this to make room for a rare option to fit direct fresh air vent. I've never seen that. So that's either, what, a 69 or 70, I assume, by the looks of it. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I've never seen that. Looks like it did a good job cutting it out, though. Interesting. Let's see. Marshall, Cosmetical. That's what it was. Hey, Marshall, how's it going? You haven't commented. I haven't seen you on here yet. How's your project? I forget where we left off. So get us updated on where your project is. Dave, changing a coupe to a fastback is a point of contention with me. I don't think that's the way we use that word, Dave. That wasn't how it originated. Well, not really, but I put it in a sense. Well, you did put it in a sense. I don't even remember how I started off with that word. I forget what I was talking about when I said contention. Jorge checking in. Glad you're here. Paul Lee, 69 factory. Oh, wait. 69 AKK factory. Thank you. Oh, thank God I have all the parts. Okay. 69 AKK? What is that? See, this is what I was talking about. We were saying earlier about the one of one, or, oddball, or things, I don't know what that means. What is AKK? So we have it trying to do Wi-Fi again. And I want airplane mode. Tell me. Wi-Fi's turned off. Airplane mode. I don't get it. All right. Oh, okay. You're throwing me off there with with thick thumbs, Paul. So you're trying to say all factory, not AKK. I was like, what is that? Is that some sort of model number, special edition, Twister, Cyclone? This is the AKK, you know. Trying to crash. If you're concerned about rarity, convert a 66 Mustang. Made over 600,000 Mustangs in that model year. They're still even. What is it? They're still, I guess, easy to find. Even 30, 55 years later, most will need sheet metal repairs anyway. I agree with that. Yeah, they made a ton of them. And I'm not against doing it, the 65 or 6. I just, I like the 67, 68, I think. I have a 68 car that I can do that with. So, but you never know. If I start doing that sort of thing, I might just start saying, "Hey, you want me to do your car? Send it to me. I'll weld it all together, and then you can have it back." In, out, in, out. That sounds like a dream to me. Crash Rider. It is spelled. Wait. Condension? That's not what I said, though. You found it on the internet? That's an actual word? What does that word mean? Because it doesn't mean, I don't think that means what I was trying to say. You have to let us know what that means. Yeah, Johnny Crash says easy. Yep. When we're Dave, then it must be true. Yeah. Clark, AKK was using Mars attacks conventionally. I'll give you a bell for that. Okay. Drag Boss. Hey, dear Daddy. Good to see you at Drag Boss. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I need more coffee, though. Hold on. Oh. I placed an order. You know, people are asking me what else you need for Jade to finish out. And you start looking at things. You know, when stuff gets all shiny and pretty and you start looking at other stuff and you're like, oh, man. Honestly, this car has been semi-disassembled for so long that I don't remember. I just had another thought. I probably need new sun visors. I forgot all about that. Anyway, when you start looking at these things and you go, do I even have these parts? Because I don't remember. You know, I took that car apart. 2013 is when I started working on it. 8 years ago. And the little window cranks. Do I have those? Well, I have one. I know I have one for sure, but of course it's not pretty. Then you start looking at the dash bezel. I just painted the dash. How do the bezels look? They don't look good. Well, let's get the new bezels. What about window trim clips? Well, I have some, but do I have enough? No, let's get a kit. You know, it's, you know, these things. So I did order a package shelf because they're not that expensive. And I figured, you know what, it's already made, it's cut, I can put it in, be done with it. I also ordered the sheet metal divider that goes behind the back seat. Instead of having a panel there, you can actually screw this in and it helps stiffen up the car. Not that I'm planning on racing or anything, but that panel can be screwed into the rear structure of the car and make it more rigid. And then, I don't know, I was going down the list and I was like, I need a steering wheel. I have a steering wheel, but I just don't like it. I don't like the 68 steering wheel, 67. You know, it's got it's big and has that big lumpy thing in the middle, you know, to protect you in a crash. So I ordered another steering wheel. And of course, now you have to buy, if you buy a nice steering wheel, you have to buy an adapter. You know, you can't just have, you got to make it fit the car. So it's just stuff. And it's on its way. I ordered from NPD, so it's on its way. So Ish. Condension, $5 word. Thank you for that, Ish. Marshall. Went trout fishing in North Georgia, so not much work done other than finishing up small things to start wiring to bring the Thunder soon. I need to send some pics of the motor and get thoughts on valve covers. Yeah, there's a lot of choices out there. Well, I say a lot, probably 5 or 6 choices for valve covers, but it's hard to pin one down. That you like, it suits you, and you like the way it looks. That's usually the best choice. I don't try to worry about what other people think. Johnny Crash, go to the 6573 Classic Mustangs forum on StangNet. There's a fellow there that goes by Horse Sense that has numerous threads and cars he's converted. I'd post a link, but chat won't let me. Yeah. Chris Barry, you need to paint my Starlight black Firebird. Yeah. Honestly, it's probably not going to happen. Just saying. Bob Knoll, I'm a little late, but I'm here. This is Bob up in Detroit. Glad you're here, Bob. Nick, what do I do with my fingers under the drip bar rail? And what? What do I do if I hold my fingers under the drip rail and seem to be caught? No specific reason why I'm asking, just random thought. I also, what would you tell 911 to save embarrassment? I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see. Wing Warrior. I had 2 weeks of driving drama on the Wing Warrior. I set 4-degree pin angle shims and 1.5 weeks working with gear tech support, and we're back together. And all noises are gone. Good. Let's see. Just via those 67 wheels plain ugly. Yeah. Well, the thing is, not only is it, I don't like the wheel itself. I assume that I could fix this if I wanted to. This has I don't even know if I have the center horn button thing. I know I don't have the big lumpy thing, but this has several cracks in it. And I know people fix these. They got some sort of epoxy or something they put into them. But when you look at these steering wheels, this steering wheel is not cheap. If you were to buy this one, I think it's like $300 or more for a perfect one, obviously, not this giant thing, which I'm not using. And I had a debate on whether I wanted to buy the wood grain steering wheel. I chose not to. I went with the leather wrapped steering wheel. It's gonna look pretty cool. Because my mind is saying I don't have anything else that has a wood accent. I like the feel of the leather wrap, so that's what I went with. Nick, I got my glove finger pinched under it. Just had a random funny thought. Yeah, Dave. I don't know, man. Maybe I have to get a new laptop. Maybe I just have to replace this laptop. I don't know. Now it's back to Wi-Fi. I don't know. Kudulev, my cracked steering wheel has been repurposed into a horse reel. Looks cool and avoids waste. Well, if you notice, I have wall art back there, right? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 steering wheels hanging on the wall. I know one is a wood finish. Standard, I don't know what it's out of, but it has a wood grain on it. That one. And then that one is some sort of I think a Buick wheel or something. I actually like the way that one looks, but there's no way I could get it on the car. And then this one over here, that's out of a Fiero GT that my wife had, 88 Fiero GT. And then over there, I don't know what that one is. I don't know what it is. And then there's one standard, like small diameter, your 3-hole or 3-leg, steering wheel. Again, they're just wall art at this point. And that's the other thing. Have you priced out a center console? Have you looked at a center console and what they go for? I was dumbfounded. I mean, I understand the 68 or maybe 67 as well has a little sliding door thing and a place to put your seatbelts. Those are $1,000. Those are $1,000 for a center console. I can't do it. Now, my shifter, the car had a center console, and my shifter is designed for the center console. It has that extra piece in the middle. So I'm debating on what I'm going to do about the center console. Maybe get Roger to 3D print me a new center console. That would be cool. But yeah, they're $1,000 for a new one. I think Classic Cougar or whatever, they sell them, or they sell ones that they pulled out of cars that need refurbished that they sell for like $250, but they tell you right in the thing, these have cracks in them, this problem and that problem. It's going to have issues. But I couldn't believe it. It's $1,000. So I've actually saved some website links where people have made their own console. Why not? Basically taking 3/8-inch plywood or something, and of course plywood is $1 million now. But making their own console, and I'm not against that at all. I like the. I got to have something in there. Roger says, Nick, call the glove an accessory, one of one, rare option. There you go. There you go. Like a windsock. Yeah. Well, it lets you know when you're moving. See? And what direction you're going. If the wind is flat, if the glove is flat waving at you in your face, you're going forward. If you can't see the glove, you're going backwards. There you go. It's like a weather rock. Tells you when it's raining. You have to go out and look at it. Clark, get a Grant 3-spoke. Yeah. I'm getting some sort of 3-spoke. Not a Grant, but that's basically what those. The wooden one is a Grant, I think, and then this one's a Grant. Nick, I actually built a center console out of aluminum for mine. It's in storage right now, or I'd show you. I thought it turned out pretty neat. Well, make one for me. You got all this free time. we could send me that one and then make a new one for yourself. That would be nice. Roger, it would take a while, but I'll see what I can come up with. 3D printed. Main word, don't forget, fastback conversion interiors don't come with the sheet metal, and a cheap coupe equals cheap versus fastback interior. That's a good point. Come on, Bell. There you go. That is a good point. And that's why, for me, if I do a fastback conversion, I'm just doing the sheet metal. It's up to somebody else to do all the rest. Paul Lee says used ones going for crazy money right now. The consoles? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have one. And I was like, this thing's pretty nasty looking. It's like sticky, and I don't know. I just have to make one, I guess. Cooter Lev. Okay, guys, let's start the Jade Club and then bury some NPD gift certificates before he spends his retirement savings on body clips and washers. Yep, that made me snort. Let you know when you're moving. Hey, it's just one of those ideas, Winged Warrior glove included with Nick's center console. There you go. Whoops. Nick, I would trade you for a paint job. I'll see if I can take a few photos. Yeah, probably not going to happen. Clark, you need a ringiometer odometer to know when to pull maintenance on the bell. Yeah. Genuine Tillman glove too, Winged Warrior. There you go. So yeah, like I was saying, I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with the console. You're going to have to do something if you're going to make one. You're going to have to consider the idea of covering it if you don't want it. Like Nick's probably going to do exposed aluminum. I'm guessing he's probably not going to wrap it, but for me, I'm probably going to want to wrap it. Lots of things to think about in that side. Also, you can buy the versions where they have like cup holders off to the side, which I like that. I think it's pretty cool. But I would almost want to design my own to where it has cup holders built in to the main console. I don't, if I build one, I'm not going to build it with that lump on the side. Just saying. Or, the idea could be that, get a console out of something else. The whole problem is on these particular cars, the 67, 68, the way the console is designed, it merges into the dash and holds the radio. If you don't have a console, you have to have a bezel to hold the radio. So, maybe I'll have to use the thing that I have and clean it up and make it work. I don't know yet. I'm going to hate to see that shifter right now with the plastic junk. That when the regular shifter with no console is a chrome thing, but with the console, it's got that slider and it's lit up. And I was even looking for those online, thinking, how much does that cost? I'm sure that's not cheap either. Nick, I had him for a minute, I think. Good try, Nick. I have, I guess, insets that will have diamond stitched padding. Where things are, Nick, he's on the cusp of a trade. Don't give up. Back to the Wi-Fi thing. Nick, I haven't done that part yet because I don't know if I want to do this saddle or black. Okay. Cooter says the cup holders on the consoles are way too small. They don't hold anything beyond a 12-ounce can. That's good to know. That's good to know. Nick, my rear firewall will have the diamond pattern too. That's cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to you getting that car together, Nick. Sounds like it's going to be a pretty cool ride. Oh, here's something else. I talked about it. I don't know if I talked about it in the last live stream or not. No, I've got Iron Man sitting on top of this stuff. I ordered some of this stuff. I saw a Jay Leno's Garage episode, and they talked about this stuff, this Quick Glow. And it's supposed to be a chrome cleaner, rust remover, blah, 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 blah. And the demonstration they did on Jay Leno's Garage was pretty cool because they had like I don't know if it was a bicycle rim or a motor, it may have been a motorcycle rim, a narrow motorcycle rim. And it was chrome, but it had surface rust on it, And the guy was quick to point out, and I get his point. He was like, a lot of people think the chrome is rusting, but it's not the chrome. It's actually coming through the chrome. It's underneath. And he was saying, you take this stuff, and the demonstration was pretty cool. I mean, they shined up the chrome really nice. And then he said what it does is this will plug the holes in the chrome and keep the rust from coming back out. How true that is, I don't know. But I'm going to do some experimenting with this stuff and see how well it works. Part of the reason I'm doing that, as we all know, when you talk about expensive, if you've looked these up, I think these vent windows are like $400 and some. Not for the window, for this part. And you can't really tell very well, but this has pitting up here. So I'm going to replace the seal. I've got new seals coming. That was another on the list. It's new seals. And I'm going to try to clean up the chrome as best I can with some of that, Quick Glow. See how that does. But I've already, you probably can tell, I've cleaned out all the grooves here, made those clean, so that hopefully I can have a functioning window again. That's the goal. So I don't know if anybody's used that quick glow stuff or not, but you can give some feedback. Is anybody still on here? I don't see any comments. No comments. I hope it's still working. But thinking about the car and where I'm at on it, I know I have a headliner for it. I know I have the pinch weld, the belt molding or whatever. Well, let me see here. Okay, so Wayne Warner says, I just sent you one. You sent me one what? What'd you send me? We're here. Clark Clifford says, yep, okay. Crash Rider, why not build your own console out of plywood or similar material and fiberglass would make a great video. Yeah, I mean, I can do that. And that may be what I end up doing. The problem I have is the transition into the dash. I don't have the bezel. Now, a bezel, a nice, brand new bezel, I think is like $70 for the radio bezel. I do like, even though it's kind of, I mean, it was a cool feature when it was in 67, 68 with a little sliding door, on the console where you could slide it up and throw something in it. But I don't know. I'm debating on what I'll end up with because I really just don't know at this point. But I know I'm gonna have to do something. I want to have a console in there, so I'll figure it out. But yeah, it would be nice. I could probably do a video on it. Jessica, my mom's 66 is that green, a pony interior, rally pack, center console, 302, and auto. Wow, that's pretty cool. Pony interior too, rally pack. That's pretty cool. Johnny Crash, I found a local supplier and bought a gallon of SPI gray epoxy primer and activator, not cheap, but a lot of guys in the forum use it a lot. Okay. That sounds like a good idea. Dave, I need to know if that stuff works on Chrome. If so, I'm in. Very interested to know how it does. Yeah, I'll be experimenting with it. Well, I will be seeing how it works. Fabulous Fortunes, I have a 3-acre testing facility for quick glow. Can't wait to try it out. A 3-acre testing facility? Okay. That sounds appealing. Jessica, her dad bought it for her before she had a driver's license. Her dad jumped the car. Jumped the car? Oh, and what? Her dad jumped the car and her brother drove it into salt water all before she got to drive it. What? Like he literally jumped the car? Like jumped it, landed it, and her brother drove it into salt water. Neither one of those sound very good for a Mustang. That much I can tell you. That much I can tell you. Jorge, I'm here. Sorry, I was watching Girls on Tractors. Just kidding. Jersey Shore Fabricators, we need details. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, so like I said, I keep going over the car as I'm visualizing it with pieces in place. I know I have need door handles for it. So just getting the door handles on is going to be one of those little moments, I have to look at, I don't even know. I assume that I do have dripper molding. I think I have it. I think. So I'll have to look for that. But just picturing it with these pieces going back in place, just keeps me motivated. Jessica jumped over railroad tracks. Okay. Bob, will you show a video of the placement of the rear seal for your quarter glass? I probably will. Yeah, I probably will. I don't think it's going to be that hard, honestly. I know there's a screw that holds the thing onto the frame. Now, whether I take that off or not, I don't know. I'll have to look at it. But I'll probably do a video on that process. Let's see, Matt. I'm looking to cheap out on my bumpers. Any ideas how to probably get paint to stick to them? Ooh. My suggestion. Now, I mean, I don't know what condition your bumpers are in, as far as pitting, rust, or that sort of thing. Ideally, when you get the chrome off, address any rust issues. I've never really tried to paint bumpers or chrome bumpers, but my mind is telling me something like sand them with 80 grit. Scuff that chrome as bad as you can, and start laying on high build, or put epoxy on, then put high build on, and try to get everything covered, and then put paint. But that's just my thought. I have not tried to do it, but that's what comes to mind. Dave, I was planning on 1,000, 2,500, 3,000 wet sanding before buffing. What was Jade's treatment on grits? Well, actually, now I can't recommend this for everybody, but this is what I used. I actually started with 600 wet. I did. But I also was not trying to make it smooth. All I was doing was cutting the orange peel. Just breaking the tops off the orange peel mountains. And then I went to, what was next? 1,200. I think I went to 1,200. Then I went to 1,500. Then I went to 2,000. And then I went to 3,000 on an interface pad on the DA. So you're probably, pretty good with 1,000. 1,000 to 2,500, that's a pretty big step. You might want to put something in between those two. But depending on what shape your car is. So, like I said, not everybody should try 600 or, as far as a wet sanding on their clear coat. You're a lot safer with 800 or 1,000. But that's what I went with, just to do an initial cut. Jessica, brother took it to prom and knocked it out of gear on a boat ramp. Mustangs are too small for hanky panky. That's what the Mistero is for, right? 64.5 just ran out of argon, so here I am. Well, I'm glad you're here. Leland, sandblast and epoxy and prime have done many bumpers. So there you go. There's an answer to the bumper question for Matt. Sandblast and epoxy prime have done many bumpers. Thank you for that, Leland. I guess if you can have access to a sandblaster. If you don't, I'm assuming maybe do the 80 grit or something, or 180 or something, to try to get it down. John Doe, what size air compressor would you recommend? Honestly, if you're just doing a small, your regular house garage, like for years and years, I just used a 5-horse, 60-gallon compressor. Just me running stuff. It held up and did exactly what I needed it to do for like 20 years. Now I have a 3-stage, 120-gallon. Did I really need that? Probably not, but I bought one. So that's what I'm using. Jessica, brother took it out. Oh, sorry. Derek, got to go. See you guys. Stay well. We'll see you, Derek. Glad you're here. Jersey, take to a chromer and have them remove the chrome with acid. Pretty cheap and don't have to worry. As long as you can find a chromer. That's another tricky thing, is trying to find somebody that can actually still does chrome. Let me see here. Okay. So I have another email that I'll have to look at later. Okay, so Oh, Jessica says she fixed it because of grammar. Got it. Johnny Crash, I have a single stage 3.7 horse, 60 gallon, hoping it'll be enough to prime the car at least. Well, airflow is the key. Airflow is definitely the key. So let me pull up some pictures here that Marshall sent me. As long as my internet will do it, or my laptop will do it, I should say. I know the internet's good. He showed me some progress pics on, hold on a second. Yeah. So here's one. Pull Johnny's comment down. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. That looks really nice. Get one more I've got to download. Yeah. Nice and clean, Marshall. I like it. What are you using for a radiator? I see it's an aluminum one. Got a standard fan on. So no power. Or is it that power steering? I don't see any power steering. And the interior. Okay, got the dash painted. Nicely done. Yep. I'm going to have to come up and see you. Make a video on that car. Let's see, 64 and a half. Have you ever used Speed Coat 2K high build primer before? I was looking into it but never used it myself. I have not. I have not. Jersey Shore. Speaking of air delivery, I use Milton high flow V-type connectors, but they seem to go bad often. Any suggestions? I'm not even familiar with those. Milton high flow V-type connectors. I don't have any suggestions. I'm not even familiar with those. Sorry. Matt, thank you all for the advice. You're welcome. Nick, looking like something there. I like it. Yeah, let me show that again. That's another thing. When I look at that and I realize, I've painted the car, and again, my timeline is so long, and it's on Jade. The engine bay looks like trash. It's all dirty. At one time it was spotless, but over the years of just sitting and dust accumulating and whatever, I'm jealous of that. The thing looks really sharp. Really sharp. I like the interior too. I mean, what's there? It's yeah. Jorge, yep. Nice job. Wayne Warrior. I love when a plan comes together. Yes. Nick Berry won't come see my car because he knows I'll Tom Sawyer him in the painting. Well, Nick, I think you live out of state. Am I wrong? Don't you live a bit away from me? Marshall probably lives an hour away. Johnny, I use the V-stock connectors, bigger inlet than the standard ones. They hold up just fine as long as you take care not to drop a tool on them. Okay. All right. So there's a comment. Clark, has anyone put a 351 Cleveland and an AOD and a 6768? Anybody have an answer for that? Because I haven't. Brake line in the inside of the floor pan. Wait a minute. We're talking here? I don't think that's a brake line. I could be wrong. Marshall can let us know what that is. Let's see if I can look at that picture more on my. Maybe it is a brake line. You may be right. I don't know. Or, yeah, I don't know. I can't tell. It's up to Marshall to tell us. Johnny Crush had issues with them going bad. Only issue I've had with damaging them if they weren't machined right and are difficult to connect. All right, close back off. Leland, I had a 351 Cleveland and an AOD in my 68 in high school. There you go. So it has been done. And I have a 68 with 351 and an FMX. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let me go back to this. Winged Warrior 428 Cobra Jet head in intake with a 50 Holly double pumper. Is that what you're saying? You're seeing in the pictures? Or are you talking something else? Clark Winged Warrior, how hard was it? And what were the problems making it go in? You're saying that's what you have in yours? Is a 428 Cobra Jet? Or what are we commenting on? I'm not talking about this. Let's see. Third Coast evening. JJ is looking beautiful. I'm making progress on my 93 Lightning rebuild. Thanks for giving me inspiration to keep working on her. It sure gets expensive and frustrating. Yes. Stupid bell. This is what I had on my 351 Cleveland. Oh, okay, the 420 Cobra Jet heads. Okay, in high school. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's always that context thing. What are we talking about? You know, it's kind of hard to infer sometimes where we're going with the conversation. Nick, I love Cleveland. My motor's delayed now because of COVID stuff with DART. Good thing I expect because I have to do the engine bay. Oh, I painted underside too. Forgot to mention earlier. Okay, cool. Progress. Good to hear. Okay, so he says I haven't been totally slacking today, or totally slacking, I guess. Well, you know, if you're still playing finger trap with the glove, maybe you're losing focus. Maybe you're losing focus, Nick. How can I get this glove unstuck? I get it. All right. So again, now we're back to the normal Wi-Fi thing. So I don't know where Marshall went. We have questions for Marshall, and he left me. Unless he's working on the car again. Barry gets a bell for the. Okay. Brendan checking in on lunch break here in New Zealand. Glad you're here. Crash Rider, lots of fun and laughs tonight. Give that fabricating your own console some serious thought. Have seen many made on some of the TV car shows, and they all look really nice. Yeah. Yep. Nick, you don't know how I focus, Barry. Clark, the TMI consoles are fiberglass and then wrapped. Might as well make your own. Yeah. Yep. Hindsight, Nick, do we really want to know how you focus? But you're right. How do I get this finger stuck? How do I get this finger unstuck? We've all been there, Nick. We've all been there. Oh, man. Okay. So we still have, well, 57. We're averaging about 60. Nick, it would amaze me how I get anything done at work, I'll tell you. I think that's normal for most people, Nick. What can I be doing besides what I'm supposed to be doing? You know, today, because we're talking about being distracted and different things, you know, I don't, let's say, look forward to the sanding and buffing. I don't. That's the truth. I just don't. But I was outside today, outside the garage, just getting some air. And I looked over and I see Roger. He's inside his garage, or mostly inside, partly out of his garage. And I see his legs flopping around. And I'm like, what's he doing? Because only his legs are sticking out of the garage. I'm like, is he all right? Is he trapped under something? What's going on over there? So I needed a distraction, because I don't want to puff. I don't want to sand. So I went over to check on Roger, and he was we're pulling these power steering out of his Camaro. So I was happy to assist him in getting that out and putting the new steering box in, because it gave me another reason to not be sanding and buffing. But it was short-lived. Got it out, got it in. I had to come back over and finish sanding and buffing. So, but the good part is I have the hard part, I think, done. Excuse me. But I'll be, continuing the process, obviously. Johnny Crash, TMI consoles with their cup holders look so out of place in a classic Mustang to me. Yeah, but it's such a convenience factor. Even if you don't have a drink, you put your cell phone or whatever. I like having a place to put things. So Roger said he was flailing. Yeah. Nick says trapped under the door. Clark, you could just go full on 80s and put the side window hanger cup holders in. Condensionize that. Yeah, they still sell those. Those little plastic cup holders you hook on your window. I will say though, one of the coolest things I've ever had, and it's long gone, but I had a 72 Chevy 4x4. I've shown pictures of it before. When I was in the military, and I still miss the truck, and if I could find it again, I'd buy it. But anyway, it was originally a forestry service truck. So it had, brush guard and tow hooks and different things on it. But one of the things it had that was pretty cool was on the dash. I don't think I've ever seen one before. I'm sure they make them. But it was a cup holder that was screwed to the dash, and it was a metal, let's say like a stirrup, like for your boots, stirrup? Is that, no, not stirrup. What do they call? I can't think of the word. What's the word? When you ride horses, you got the little kicker put on your boot, little Kickstarter for horses. I can't think of the word. Anyway, it was kind of shaped like that. So it was a horseshoe looking shape, and it had a center point mounted to the dash, and then it had the main, coming out. Well, it also had a pivot. And if I remember correctly, the whole thing, it would pivot left and right and in and out. And it was, attached to the dash. So I guess spur. Yeah, that's the word. Spur. Good. Everybody gets a bell. Spurs. Thank you. But anyway, it was attached to the dash, and then it had this metal cage for like a cup holder. And again, it would, if I remember correctly, I know it would pivot in and out, but I think it would also pivot side to side somehow. And so, like, you're driving off road, yeah, gimbal mechanism. Very good. That's a good answer right there. It had a gimbal mechanism. Anyway, so it would, if your truck's leaning, it would level out. I don't think I've ever seen one since, but I've thought about trying to make one at some point. Okay. Where are we at? Oh, Roger was happy to have the assistance. Yeah, I was glad to help. I'm right next door. 64, put your cell phone in the 8-track player. Yeah, there you go. Nick, my uncle had those cup hanger deal in his little S10 back in the day. Talking about the ones on the door? Yeah. Clark's replying to 64. Johnny Crash. Spur, yeah. Spur. Everybody got spur. Thank you. My mind was saying raw. That was the word was coming to my mind. The raw. I could not get spur to come to my mind, but raw. I knew what the raw was. We're all kinds of new words today, right? Condension. Well, not raw. Raw is not a new word, but it's rarely used. But we got to use it today. Nick, everybody knew it but you. Yeah. Don, glove box doors where the cup holders are, and Betsy. Yep. As long as you're not moving, that's okay. Gimbal, boot donkey. Boot donkey. That's a good one. Bob Knoll, did you convert Jade over to power steering? And if you did, what gearbox did you use? I did convert it to power steering. Borgeson. I used a Borgeson kit. Yes. I converted to power steering with Borgeson, and I converted it to power brakes with CSRP. So, let's see. Clark, I remember those cup holders, great design, failed application. Wagon Warrior, they're standard on a lot of UTVs these days. Okay. Like I said, I remember seeing them on that truck that I had, but over the years, I never really saw them, or I guess you can still buy them. I don't know. I just like them. Clark, raw gimbal condension equals time travel device. Johnny Crash, I think the glove box door cup holders are for visits to the drive-in. At least that's what I told my wife they were for. Yeah. I used to remember as a kid at the junkyard, my dad had, these Studebakers. They came with you could get them with a tissue box holder. You'd actually have a little tissue box. It was like a stainless steel box that you could slide out of the glove box and have tissues. Pretty fancy. Wayne Warrior, the gimbal mechanism cup holder is standard on a lot of the UTVs. Context. Very good. They make a gimbal cup holders for boats. Okay. And those are bar buoy. I have one in my toolbox at work. Nick, I'm going to hop off and weld this piece of rail in. I'm glad I read that instead of put my own words together. Weld this piece of rail in. Good night. I'm glad you're here, Nick. Be careful with the fingers, Nick. Yeah. Yeah, don't lose a glove. And good night. Good luck, Nick. Yes. Okay. It is about that time. Yeah. It's been 2 hours. So we're going to call it a night. If I may have to look for that gimbal thing, gimbal cup holder. I'm making for boats. I've always thought about putting one back in one of my trucks. I just like them. I think it's a cool idea. But anyway, the next video I put out will probably, I think it'll be Wednesday, and it'll be the dash, painting of the dash, and getting that right. And then the next video, I think, should be the color sand and buffing video that I'm working on right now. I'm trying to get all that in place. So anyway, that's where we're at. But we'll be back. I'll be back on Thursday at 3 o'clock, and we'll do this again and go from there. So glad you're here. I'm glad you all participated. Had a good time tonight. Had some laughs. Always need some good laughs. And we'll do it again. But until that time, take care of yourselves. See ya.